You're no stranger to working with the Coen Brothers. What do you find most fascinating about their filmography?
I think in terms of film, they're some of the best storytellers in the world. I think that their movies are not only about the subject at hand, but also about storytelling itself, because they manage in a way that is coherent and somehow utterly natural, always to be talking about the telling of stories. And in this movie, that's particularly true.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about that, I mean, if I could count the number of syllables that you had to say in that amount of time you were on screen,
right?
Singing and talking, was it a challenge? I mean, this is, you know, not a shy-spoken Buster Scruggs.
Well, yeah, it was. I certainly put in more prep time for minutes of screen time in terms of that ratio than any other role I've played. Learning to spin the pistols and play the guitar, which I didn't know how to do, and then also play the guitar well enough to be able to sing and ride a horse at the same time. But all that's really fun. It's part of why I went into acting. Every new role is a challenge, and in a lot of ways, this was the most challenging one I've had.
Yeah, absolutely. And the idea of the Coen Brothers, you know, exploring the wild, wild west in itself was a wild idea. So how much did you enjoy that when they approached you, that they were going to make some kind of a Western spin-off film? Well,
this was interesting. I was given. They wrote the one I was in first, and so I was given it way back in 2002. And so I waited a good 15 years
oh my God,
for them to write the other ones. And they kept saying, you know, we're going to do that movie. We're going to do that movie. And then eventually they did when they'd written the 5 other stories.
The stories are self-contained, let's say. How much did you get interested? I mean, this was a huge ensemble cast. How much did you get interested in the other stories whilst they were making it? Or was it an isolated shoot every time?
I guess it's a little bit of both, because certainly each story is its own discrete entity, and one has to play by the stylistic and narrative rules of each different segment. But at the same time, knowing what the other stories were and that each vignette was going to explore a different style of the Western made us each, I think, commit even more to our particular story and the style of that story. So it just made one's commitment to the story in which one appeared all the more disciplined and rigorous.